This month, I turned 31 years old. Yes, the early 30s it is. As I look back and think about my late 20s and jumping into the 30s already, it does feel a bit nostalgic. Most of my late 20s were spent dealing with the after effects of a terrible accident, meeting my partner, discovering YouTube, planning a wedding, having a backpack sort of honeymoon through Europe, and finally to leading a more sustainable lifestyle. We've all been stuck at home for the last 1 or 2 birthdays at least, and while at home, I decided to reflect on the things I've learned in my 31 years on this earth. So let me take a moment in this repetitive cycle that we've been living for the last year or so and go into the learnings of my life so far. And that is 31 things I've learned in my 31 years. Age is definitely just a number, and to be honest, I thought there was going to be some kind of drastic change once I hit my 30s. But no, I'm still the same goofy drama queen as ever before. And every time you hit such age milestones, you'll realize it definitely feels no different at all. Your body is your best friend if you start accepting its flaws too. I lived my teenage years absolutely hating my skinniness and feeling less womanly. But somehow in my late 20s, there was definitely a quick change in the way I looked at my body. Call it growing older and wiser, but I came around to loving my body like never before. And today I am the biggest fan of my own body, with my beer belly and all. So don't body shame yourself, and that body confidence you develop is sexier than anything else. You cannot control everything, and you need to come to terms with that. I cannot control how well my YouTube videos will work or how many subscribers I'll gain. What I can control is how well I create the video and how often I upload my videos. I've slowly come to terms with trying to be happy with the things I can control. Life is unpredictable. When I was 25, I had envisioned my life to be completely different. I thought I would do my master's degree. I thought I'd be a practicing architect with my own firm maybe. But look at me now. An accident I could never have predicted threw me off the bandwagon and taught me to build my life all over again. And to be honest, I don't blame that accident. It led me into a super cool life I may never have known otherwise. So sometimes what life throws at you may seem hard at the time, but you will grow stronger and go through all of it. Resilience is important. So shit happens to all of us every once in a while, and the way we grow depends completely on how resilient we are to the bad situation. If we waddle in it, it can take us down. It is when you decide to use those as life lessons that growth actually starts. Your productivity need not be like what you see or hear on social media, and you don't need to feel like a failure if you did nothing productive for a day or two. It is completely okay to need and want a break. Don't guilt yourself into making yourself feel unworthy of that break. Being single isn't such a bad thing, you know. Back in the day when I was in school, people who were in relationships were considered the bad group. But over the years, as dating caught on being popular, it seems harder to find somebody who's actually single. And this leads to one often thinking that being single is some kind of personal failure. I know I've been in a relationship with my husband for over 6 years now, but let me assure you that you don't need to be in a relationship to be happy. To be kind to people who work for you or help you with any kind of service is very important. How you treat someone who's your house help or the delivery guy, the waitress at the cafe, or the cab driver speaks volumes about you and your character. So, treating them with equal respect and kindness will make you a better person. Don't bottle up your emotions. It affects your own state of mind, your relationships, and obviously your life. If something is bothering you, speak up and finish the matter then and there before it overpowers you. I've had several outbursts when I bottle things up for way too long and then it bubbles out all at the wrong time. So please don't do that and make sure that you state how you feel when you feel it. Don't be a sore loser. I've always found myself to be one in that category. Someone who never used to like admitting my defeat nor losing on anything that I took part in. Life is not always going to go our way, and there will be circumstances where we are going to be wrong or lose at something you worked hard for. Being sore about it will only make it worse for you. The best solution is to try and be graceful at your defeat and try and take note of what could have improved, because this will help you in the long run. Your mental health is as important as your physical health, and please do not take it lightly if you are unable to function properly because of any kind of mental distress. There is nothing to be ashamed of for seeking help and going to therapy instead of pretending to be completely alright. It's something that needs to be destigmatized, and with more of us recognizing the need for it, it should become normalized too. Treat nature and other living beings with love and respect. Treat the environment like you would treat your home. So clean up after yourself instead of littering, because ultimately it is indeed your home. And learn to live and let live with the entire ecosystem. Marriage is not an end game. Most of us girls especially live our lives waiting for the day we get married. I was that girl too, waiting to get married from the age of 20. And though marriages can be fulfilling, it is just another chapter in your life. So don't get pressurized into doing it because everybody around you is getting married. Marriage or kids or any such important chapters should only happen if and when you are ready for it. So whether you want it at 22 or 28 or 35, it does not matter as long as you are ready for it. Don't try to fit in by faking your personality. So many times I've tried to pretend to be the calm, soft-spoken woman because I thought that would bring me respect. But hey, I'm a loud, chirpy, excitable person who moves her hands while talking all the time. So make sure to always portray yourself as you are, because there is no need of any fakeness to you. Always stay grounded. We hear how people just act high and mighty as soon as a bit of success touches them. But remember your initial days and always remind yourself that you were a nobody too. However successful you become, remain grounded and the success won't take you down. Hustling has been highly glamorized and it doesn't need to be. Working into your weekends doesn't need to be normalized, and you don't need to feel guilty if you aren't working towards a goal all day, every day. And if hustling isn't for you and you're someone who enjoys where your life is right now, don't feel embarrassed about it because of all the hustling you hear about. Being different is what makes you, you. I've never been a conventional woman, and I've always thought there was something wrong with me for wanting things different from most people around me. But I feel that's what makes me the way I am. Super passionate, open-minded, and highly empathetic. And I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. Make sure to have me time always. Over the years, I'd enjoyed spending time with myself, and sometimes I crave it badly too. I've gone to movies and cafes alone to learn to feel comfortable in my own company. I think the time with yourself helps you recognize your value and thus become a better person even. So when things are back to the new normal, have a date with yourself. You cannot control other people's opinion of you. When I used to be younger, I wanted to excel at everything just to be able to please people around me. But now, I've realized there's only so much you can do and there'll still be people who don't like you. That's just a way of life and it doesn't matter. Believe in and take a chance on yourself. If you're someone who's been dreaming to become a renowned baker, a guitarist, or have your own business, start on your journey without doubts and hesitation. Believe that you will put in the effort and work needed to get to that goal. Whether as a side hustle or a full time job, be prepared to stick on and let the dream come true. Going meat free and plant based isn't as hard as you may think. I was a full fledged meat eater until 2 years ago when I decided to turn vegetarian, and then I turned vegan in just another 6 months. Even though I thought I wouldn't be able to let go of red meat and ghee, I've happily let it go and found alternatives. I'm not going to preach about it, but it's something I know isn't as hard as you tell yourself. Let go. I know it's easier said than done. It took me a while to realize the benefit of letting go. I used to take things to heart and hold grudges for ages sometimes, without the person even realizing it. In time, I've realized that if it was something that I just couldn't let go of easily, I just needed to go voice it out to the other person and let them know about it. And if not, just had to let things go and free up my own mind space. Know you're good, bad, and ugly. Being patient and reducing my temper tantrums is something I've been working on and may need to keep working on for a long time. Though I have plenty of good traits like being super empathetic, compassionate, and even overcompensating at times, I've learned these negatives sometimes overpower the good ones. So that's work in progress for me, and it's alright to have things that you may always need to work on. Save, and save as much as you can when you are young and well. I honestly hate that I didn't have much savings in my bank account when I became a YouTuber and a freelancer. I remember scrambling for money and having breakdowns because of it. So save when you can. Maybe an extra large pizza may be unnecessary and the 10th pair of jeans too. But that doesn't mean you have to live a stingy life. Treat yourself every once in a while, but always keep your money situation in mind. Do not compare. Don't. Just don't. Your parents have done that enough, I'm sure. So you definitely don't want to start it too. There will always be people in your industry who may be doing better than you and even without as much skill or talent as you. Don't compare and try to analyze because it will just pull down your own mood and will not affect them in any way. So do your best and let life decide which direction to move to. Limit your what ifs. If you ask my partner, he'll start on and on about how I used to be the what if girl, giving different scenarios that could have happened, but they never did. And then why did I keep doing it? It was as if I was always trying to prepare for the worst. And letting go of that habit has been hard for me, but I've definitely reduced that quite a lot over the years. Social media is definitely not the end all be all. Not everything you watch on social media is true, and we shouldn't be naive enough to believe everything we come across. Always know that nobody's life is as perfect as it may seem, and everyone puts out their life with a rosy filter to it. And don't ever revolve your life around social media, even if your career depends on it. Always learn to strike a balance. Always keep your expectations in check. As a person, I'm someone who loves surprising people with gifts, calling them at night on their birthdays, and so on. I'm someone who's always liked to go over my very own comfort zone to give my close ones a pleasant surprise. And I always expected that in return from those people too, which in turn has led to a lot of disappointments. So over time, I've come to understand how many people I can expect to reciprocate and how many may not, and thus preventing unnecessary disappointments. Stop waiting for that perfect time. I still do this quite a lot, making a list of things I'll do when I have a bigger balcony, when I have a kitchen island, when I travel to Europe again. Stop planning for those future moments. Instead, do the best with what or where you are right now. I'm trying to make the most of my balcony currently and still working towards organizing my current kitchen properly. So now matters and make these moments count too. We all change. This has been the hardest thing for me to accept. I'm nothing like I was 3 years ago. Heck, I've changed in the very last year even. With life experience, we all grow as a person and develop our own thoughts and opinions on things. And that's called evolution. And as much as we may change, I've learned that I need to accept that others may change too and not be the person we knew a few months back even. And that's okay. You do not need to have your life together by the time you reach your 30s. Most of us are conditioned to believe that we need to have figured life out by then. But we never consider that life can even throw some curveballs and unexpected twists towards us, which may delay the output of any expectation. So don't be too hard on yourself about it, because you can figure out your desire and needs in the 30s, the 40s, or even later. Well, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. So I hope that I haven't bored you completely. I'm certain some of these things I've learned would be valuable to some of you in some way. Although I've learned and recognized all of these, I'm still human and sometimes do tend to forget some of these values. We are all work in progress, and I do hope that I don't feel embarrassed by this video when I turn 40. But anyway, thanks again for staying till the end of this video, and I do hope that it helped you in some way. And if it did, please make sure to let me know in the comment section below. So I will see you in the next video. So until then, bye bye.